Hey campers, Georgia, back in the man cave, working on some projects, thinking about another spoon, making some drawings and stuff. But what I really want to show you is, another sharp and shiny from somebody else I've never looked at before. These guys, CIVIVI, heard a lot about them. So I looked through them and found the least expensive one that I could afford, and here it is. Let's check it out. So what? Oh, say hi to Mary. She's hanging around again. What I'm talking about, Jay, is CIVIVI knives, and this one is the Mini Praxis. It comes in this nice little pouch, nice zipper on it, and inside you have the knife, a cleaning cloth, and your product info. So let me get the knife here for you, and this is it here. The Mini Praxis. Very nice. First look, first feel, man, it's well made. I will say that. It is clean, simple, very nice, has the clip on, the blade. And this is a flipper. Look at that. It flips out beautifully. And let me show you that flip again. Look how smoothly that comes out. Really comes out very smooth, and it locks in. It is a liner lock. You can see it there. I like the color. I'm a big green, black, red, black, white, black. Okay, any color knife is good, but I especially like this style. I think this goes together very well. Like I said, it is a flipper. You got your finger flip there, and like I said, it just pops right out. Now the nice thing about it, and something that I learned, I'm a traditional guy, and I've never looked at like a flipper. Well, I have, but I don't really know much about the new modern styles and what's out there. And I'm learning about things like how this works. This is using the ceramic ball bearings on it, on the pivot, which I've seen before. You've seen in a previous video that I did. I was struggling with that knife because when you flipped it and it had a thumb stud to flip it, it kind of stuck and did that. You would have to push it and it would pop out that much. And I had to clean it up and all that good stuff. But this came straight out. Look at that. Nice and clean. No problem there. With these new knives, the way that they open so easily is using those bearings and that sort of thing. Now, they talk about the detent on a knife. And what I found out was this. If you look in here, I don't know if you can see that right there. Here's a close-up. You can see where the arrow is. There is a little bump on the liner lock. So when you close the knife down, it clips in, so it can't move freely, but it's still loose enough to be able to flip it really easily. These guys have done a really good job on it. It just comes out of that indent cleanly. And I thought, oh, that's really nice, but the blade's going to be a little wobbly in there, no? And it works really well. And like I said, this is the CIVIVI Mini Praxis. They do have the large one, which is obviously a little bit bigger, but basically the same thing. Priced a little bit more. This one I could afford. Of the new style, more modern knives that I've looked at, this one by far is the better one I've looked at. Just the way it feels, the way it looks, it is so clean. I'm really impressed. It has the G10 handle, and you can see it there, and it looks smooth, but it's not. I'm going to try, there you can see it there. It has that dimpling in it, and it's pretty good. It feels smooth, but it's got some grip to it, which is what you want, I suppose. And of course, the blade, I'm going to say it's a drop point. I'm still not sure what they're doing with these blades, if they're even going with the standard style. It almost looks like it's coming to a spear. And of course, it has that false edge on it here, and you can see it there. And the reason for that is, well, I think it saves them steel, but it helps you bring a really sharp, and you can see that is a sharp point on the blade. It thins it out as well this way, which is what you want. It's a false blade, basically. It's not sharp. And it's called a swedge. You probably know it as that. Common name. It has a nice big ricasso on it here. It does have dimpling here for your thumb to sit on. The blade steel is a black stone-washed D2 tool steel. Very nice. Flat blade coming all the way down to a nice sharp point. And something else you might want to look at. Look how clean that edge is. And I'm trying to show you how even it is. It's kind of hard to see, but they've done a good job. It's sharp. I don't want to put my finger on there too much. You know me, I'll cut myself. It has that clip. And of course, with the clip being here, the way it is, tip up. So when it's in your pocket, the tip is going to be up. And one thing I want to look at is, where does that tip come to? Okay. It's nowhere near the end here. And I've seen knives before that have that problem. They have it a little bit too close. And if you push your finger in, you can actually catch the tip of the blade. On the handle, you have your finger dips in it there. Fits in there nice. It feels nice in my hand. I like this knife. Really nice. And I like the pivot on this. I like that ball bearing idea. The only thing is I'm a little nervous about the ball bearings. If they get dirty, is it going to affect it? How clean do you have to keep this blade? But then I have to remind myself, this is D2 steel. You have to maintain it anyway. The nice thing about D2, for guys like me, who can't sharpen, this is fairly easy to sharpen as D2 steel. It's a nice size. Doesn't feel too heavy. And, that lock in there is really good. Releasing the liner lock is very easy. It comes down and sits in there, no problem. And I just love it the way that just pops right out like that. If you look at the liners, there's no gap anywhere on these. Very nice. The blade, looking there, dead center, sitting right in there, in the center. Very nice. I'm impressed. I really am impressed. Now, if you're wondering, if you haven't seen these guys, you probably have, but you want to know a little bit more about them? Yeah, I did my research. And like I said, CIVIVI knives. See that again. And what I found out about them is CIVIVI knives is actually a brand of WE knives. Now, WE knives, Chinese, probably one of the biggest manufacturers of knives in China, probably in the world. How good they are, I've never looked at them. I know they do cutlery knives. When I say cutlery, I mean food knives and things like that. And they apparently have a very good reputation on their quality. Well, what they did was they started CIVIVI knives for EDC range of knives, your everyday carries, your folders, that sort of thing. And they opened a branch here in the US. That branch was designed to focus on EDC style knives, while keeping that same quality and trying to keep the price competitive. I will say this, with the quality, I would say that their pricing is very competitive. They started CIVIVI, I think, in 2018, and then they opened the branch up here in the US. That branch was, the specific reason, obviously, was they wanted a local contact for US. They offer, it's a service center and it's local. I like that idea. They're not the first guys to do it. I know there's another company that did it, and I showed you on that other knife. Previously, we talked about them as well. But these guys, the quality on this is unbelievable. I am very impressed. Let's have a closer look at the specs. So like I said, G10 handle, very nice, simple, straightforward. The blade, D2 steel, and they call it a black stone washed. The blade length, they say 2.98. Let's see where they measure that from. I'm going to say they're saying to the handle, which is interesting. With this big ricasso here, this stops there, which is at about 2.5 inches, and then you got the rest to go to the handle. So they're measuring from the tip to the actual edge of the handle. Thickness of the blade, 0.1. And you can see it there. The overall length from the tip to the butt 6.79 inches. So it's not huge, and it sits in my hand just right. You can see the end of the handle there, and I got it there. The jimping on this, I showed you that there. When I'm holding it like this, my thumb's here. The jimping's over there. But I suppose holding it like that gives you more downward pressure because you're using your thumb to press down. I don't care. I don't really care whether a knife has that or not, so it's no big deal. And you know, looking at it, there's 4 little bumps on it. I don't think it was a big deal for them either. The release on the liner lock, it doesn't take a lot, and yet it's in there solid, and you can just tick, no problem. It really does a good job there. The overall weight on this, 2.77 ounces. Very light, not heavy at all. Nice and comfortable. This in your pocket is not going to bother you. You know, interestingly enough, they call it the Mini, and this is probably bigger than most folders out there that you get, and this is their Mini. Be interesting to have a look. I think that the large, I think, is 8.45 inches long. So you know, it's got a lot more length, at least another inch. So it's bigger. I don't like a big folding knife. I like one that's comfortable, small enough. Putting it in your pocket is horrible. One thing I did notice, looking at this, kind of guessing here, can't really see. I don't know if you can switch. Oh no, you can't switch your pocket clip. If you look, it's actually indented in there. You see there, they actually have a groove in there that it sits in, so it keeps it a little bit tighter. You see that? It's a solid clip. There you can see there. It's very discreet. It's a very deep drop. You can't see the top of the knife. You're just seeing the clip there. So that's not bad. Getting it out is fairly easy. What else would you like to know about it? Do you think it's sharp? What would you cut with a regular EDC? I found some really cheap $5.50. So whoa, yeah, that okay. It cuts that. Will it cut paper? There we go. Ta-da! Oh, and it's a clean cut. Look at that. Wow. I wonder. Let me. No, I did properly there. I want to go down. Yeah. That's from the factory. I haven't stropped it or anything. Suitably impressed. Will it cut a piece of wood? Let's get the wood tester. Oh, makes nice calls. Not what you would do with an EDC knife, I don't think. Something that you carry for work or just basically around. You're cutting rope, string, plastic, paper, opening cardboard boxes, that sort of thing. But I want to cut some more wood and see if it'll... This is D2. Let's see if it'll cut again. Piece of paper. No problem. No problem. So there you have it. I'm impressed. Don't know about you. But there again, any knife impresses me. But I got to say, this one, a little bit more than most. And how much did I pay for it? I know you're going to ask. That much. Right on the bubble for me. You know, I struggle to pay more than $30 for a folder. Personally, I got a bargain here. I would say this is probably the nicest, well-made folder, non-traditional, that I have. The way that the movement on this blade is, and you know, even it's so smooth, you can't feel anything. Clips in there nicely. Look at that. You can't hear anything until you need to. Look at that. Very nice. I just noticed, by the way, that the other side of the pivot pin, they have a little C in there. Look at that. You notice that they don't have anything on their blades. I like this. Very discreet, very nice. What can I say? Don't forget, like, share, subscribe. You know the story. Pretty sure I'll be back again soon. I've got some other knives coming. I had somebody commented on one of my videos and said you need to have a look at these knives. not bad for the price and that. And I looked at them and I thought, maybe I need to have a look at that. Trying to spread a little bit. Will I get away from people like Rough Rider? Nope. I love my Rough Riders. I love marbles. I'm a budget guy. But I got to say, this is impressive. It just looks nice. Can't get away from this one, that's for sure. I'm impressed. CIVIVI, who would have thunk? Obviously, I'll still be going and looking at Rough Rider. I want to look at their new stuff. I want to see what Marbles has got a little bit more in their G10 series. I know they have. I love those orange ones from them. Just saying. You'll be safe out there, especially with these guys. And let me tell you, this is sharp. Thanks for watching. Take care now.